a crown of ice and a heart of light. The legend of the two sisters of ice and light. In the farthest reaches of the north, where the cold itself seemed to breathe and the auroras danced across the sky like enchanted curtains, there lay a land called Oris. At the heart of this land stood an ice palace, alive, radiant, and built of crystals that could preserve emotions within them. At its center pulsed an ancient crystal, said to hold the very soul of the realm. On a night when the snow froze in midair and the wind stood still, two twin girls were born. They were so identical that even their mother could not tell them apart. King Albric and Queen Lorien named one Nivara and the other Ira. The seers foretold that one was bound to ice and the other to light, yet their destinies would never truly be separate. That same night, before dawn could rise, a shadow crept into the palace. A banished sorceress named Morvella, whose heart had long been emptied of love, had heard the prophecy. She believed that if she could sow separation and hatred between the two sisters, she could shatter the power of the palace itself. Morvella stole one of the infants, Ira. To ensure the truth would never be revealed, the sorceress cast a spell upon the child's hair, turning it the color of night, dark, without the shimmer of snow or the warmth of light. She whispered lies into Ira's ears, telling her that her sister had abandoned her, that the ice palace was her stolen birthright. Ira grew up on these lies, strong, proud, and deeply wounded. In the ice palace, Nivara grew up alone. She was raised with duty and restraint, and the more fear she carried, the thicker the ice around the palace became. The king and queen taught her to suppress her emotions, never knowing that the other half of her heart was still beating somewhere in darkness. Years passed, and signs began to appear. Nivara dreamed of a girl who looked exactly like her, yet with dark hair and distant eyes. Ira, whenever she gazed into a mirror, felt that the reflection staring back did not truly belong to her. The heart of the palace grew restless, and fine cracks began to appear along its walls. Morvella sensed that the time had come. She sent Ira back to Oris under a false name and hidden identity, planting deep resentment in her heart. She told her, to reclaim your destiny, you must destroy the Ice Queen. When the two girls finally met, it was like two mirrors facing one another. Nivara felt an unfamiliar pull in her heart, while Ira burned with a rage she could not explain. The palace trembled at their encounter. But destiny does not allow the truth to remain buried forever. On a night of fierce snowfall, Ira approached the heart of the palace. The ancient crystal responded to the light within her, and Morvella's spell began to crack. Melted snow ran through Ira's hair, and the dark color slowly faded, revealing the familiar white sheen beneath. In that moment, both sisters understood. Memories returned, the sound of their mother's lullaby, the warmth of tiny hands clasped together. Nivara and Ira spoke each other's names. The spell of hatred shattered, for it had been built on lies. Morvella, whose power fed on division, grew weak. She did not fall into ruin, but she was defeated, because there was no longer anyone left who believed her hatred. The two sisters joined hands. Nivara accepted her fear. Ira embraced her pain. Ice and light merged into a new balance. The palace was saved, and the heart crystal finally grew calm. The king and queen awakened and embraced their lost daughter. From that day on, Oris was guarded by two rulers, not one against the other, but two sisters standing side by side. One was the voice of ice, and the other the language of light. And in the legends of the North, it was written, "No magic is more powerful than the truth, and no force is more unbreakable than a love that remembers its way home."